So it's underrated free agent centers of 2019, and I owe a big apology to Enes Kanter because I thought the injury of Jusuf Nurkic was going to leave the Blazers' playoff chances pretty dim. But Kanter has stepped up and then some. One, he's held up pretty well defensively, which was the big thing with him. But also, he's so damn good on offense. I think it's proving now that if you just have a game plan defensively that isn't terrible, and you can at least tell a guy to just kind of stand around the basket, which Kanter can certainly do, then that might be all you need from your center, especially when that center, like Kanter, is so damn good at finishing and offensive rebounding and posting up. And now I think Kanter is going to be a pretty hot commodity on the open market for some NBA team. I think he's opening a lot of eyes to at least me. I mean, I'm sure there were people smarter than me who thought that Kanter could still be a big piece in the NBA playoffs. Now, I guess there's still questions about can he play against, like, the Warriors, but that's one team in the NBA. It's safe to say he can play against Denver, which means you can use him against the majority of teams in the playoffs. So I don't know where Kanter's going to end up after this season. Maybe the Blazers re-sign him. I mean, they've got some expiring contracts coming up, but even so, their salary is still kind of swamped for one season. So whether he's here or not, I don't know, but the guy makes a difference. He's a great finisher, great rebounder. I said all this 20 seconds ago, but I think it's worth repeating because Kanter's been awesome. Next up is Willie CauleyStein, who the Kings could re-sign because he's now a restricted free agent. So I really don't know how good Willie CauleyStein is. I would like to think that he's a Clint Capella type of center, right? On offense, can roll to the rim effectively, really athletic, great finisher, can be an alley-oop target, can outrun a lot of NBA fives in transition, and he can dunk over help defenders, and maybe he even has a few moves to where he's not just a one-dimensional guy on offense, right? But even then, I think to myself, is he really making a huge difference on offense? And then this clip right here, I think, sums up his defense. He gets the block shot on Okafor, and then he gets scored on anyway. The Kings were not a good defensive team this year. And I think Willie CauleyStein has occasionally been an awesome defensive player. That was his reputation going into the NBA. But I just think these moments, these block shots and all this, are too far in between. Plus, the Kings also have Marvin Bagley, and maybe they want to get him into the starting lineup next season. So I think Willie could end up somewhere different. I mean, I would certainly think about signing him if I needed a center. I would also think about signing Dewayne Dedmon. Anybody who's watched this channel, number one, thank you very much. Number two, you're not surprised to see Dedmon here because I will not shut up about the guy. They called Tim Duncan Mr. Fundamental. I'm going to call Dewayne Dedmon Mr. Fundamental. The guy kind of does everything you want a modern-day five to do, and he's been hiding in Atlanta for the last season or whatever. Number one, he can make threes, so that's cool. Number two, he's a pretty legit finisher around the rim. A lot of the things I'm going to say about him, I just questioned about Willie CauleyStein. I feel like Dedmon is what I hope Willie CauleyStein can be, which is a dude who doesn't put up wild box score numbers, but when you're actually watching the game, you're like, oh, this guy really makes a difference. I mean, Atlanta was actually winning some games this year, and I'm going to be ignorant and not look at the stats and hope that they back up my opinion of the guy. But I know that Dedmon was also pretty good with the Spurs, a shot blocker and a pretty steady rebounder who's gonna just not kill you. That's the main thing with Dedmon. He's gonna go in the game, and you know that you're gonna get just good, solid, not flashy basketball. So hopefully he signs to a good team, and I can stop talking about him. Even then, I won't stop talking about him. Next, we have Ed Davis. He had a pretty nice season for the Nets. This entire thing is going to be rebounding. So, I mean, Ed Davis's rebounds per game numbers are whatever. They're somewhere between 6 to 10 a game. But when you go into the advanced stats, when you go into the nerdy stuff that no one likes to look at, it would suggest that he's actually maybe the best rebounder in the NBA. Defensive rebound percentage and all that stuff, he is routinely towards the top of the NBA there. And even then, I'm probably not giving his box score numbers enough credit. He played 18 minutes a game for the Nets this year, and he grabbed 9 boards a night. So, in a lot of ways, he's like the Reggie Evans of his time, where Maybe he's not going to make a huge difference for you defensively. Even then, I don't think he's bad. You're not going to ask him to do too much on offense. I mean, his free throws are bad. His finishing, I think, is decent, but not incredible or anything. I don't know if there's much of a jump shot here. But even so, you just plant him at the backup 5 spot, give him about 20 minutes a night, and he's going to grab a whole bunch of boards for you, and he's not going to kill you on defense. So overall, he's a positive. Finally, we have Robin Lopez, who was rumored to be going to the Warriors, and then it never happened because the Bulls wanted to keep him around. I mean, the beauty of Robin Lopez is similar to the rest of these guys, the Ed Davises and Dewayne Dedmons. Fundamentally sound, strong guy, always goes under the radar with his defense and his rim protection, and he even has a little bit of a post game, which I think matters. I mean, as a Celtics fan, I remember when he was killing Al Horford in that one playoff series where the Bulls almost upset the one-seeded Celtics. So he's a good player, and I don't think he's going to cost that much money. Maybe the Bulls hold on to him just to have that veteran presence in the locker room. I don't know.